excuse me.
No. At one point, you're saying that these don't apply to you because of your sovereignship, but then you cite a court rule that's saying exactly the opposite. I see that in your pleading. Wait a minute. Just let me listen. But all this other stuff that you filed, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I have no clue.
Well, and the alleged laws that you quote, and where's the corpus delicti? Because you can't injure a corporation state. You can't injure, and I got your Duns and Bradstreet number.
Yes, you can.
You won't believe this one. So our friendly neighborhood sovereign citizen walks into court, thinking he's the protagonist of some legal drama. And the first thing he
think that you're going to entertain any offer from the city. I will say that the offer is pleading to one count of disorderly conduct, and I'll find you $200.
I'm not contracted. I'm not going to contract with the city.
Let me finish what I have to do. Let me finish what I have to do, okay? As far as the procedure is concerned. This is
okay, excuse me.
No. Let me finish and I'll answer your question. We're here on an arraignment for Mr. Reginald Linton L. On one count, entering without permission. That's entering dwelling without permission. That is ticket number U613222121, complaint number U613222121. The maximum possible penalty for that is 90 days in jail and or $500 in fine if you found guilty of that. We're also here on complaint number U6132221 in violation of 38-11-2 of the City of Detroit Municipal Code. The other violation is 314-1 of the Municipal Code for the entering without permission. And then the possession of cocaine is in violation of 38-11-2. Both of them are punishable by maximum possible penalty of 90 days in jail and or $500 in fines. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, sir, and I'll set a $0 personal. I'm going to set a $0 personal bond. Do you want Ms. Hatcher to represent you, Mr. Linton L?
No.
All right. State your name for the record, sir.
I'm not here to contract with you. I'm just here as a meeting of the minds to get this case dismissed because there's no corpus delicti, and I'm not a state, federal, corporate entity, ins legis, if you will. So my documents speak for themselves. And
well, that's what I was talking
then
about.
There's the matter.
That's what I was
there's
talking
the
about.
Matter. Right. There's the matter of infringement.
All right. Are you done?
Oh, proceed.
Yeah, you said your documents speak for themselves, and that's what I was talking about. I spent the morning, part of the morning, reading all the documents that you provided, sir. And like I say, from what I can gather and from what I know about cases like this, you're trying to say that you're sovereign. The Constitution doesn't allow the city of Detroit or the state of Michigan to be able to police their streets and protect the health, safety, and welfare of their citizens, and that the laws that are codified under the state of Michigan and the city of Detroit do not apply to you. Is that correct?
Well, the thing of it is as it states here, if you read the document, as it states, I haven't harmed anyone. There's no corpus delicti. My going to visit someone.
It is a corpus delicti.
Where's the corpus delicti?
They indicate that you have crack cocaine on you in the city of Detroit. And the last time I checked, crack cocaine is not legal to have in the city of Detroit. There's no doctor that's going to be able to give you a prescription for it. And this is the allegation that they made. Now, I'll tell you this, I don't see any. Okay.
Does is start arguing that the laws don't apply to him. Yes, seriously. He literally claims he's a sovereign citizen above the law, while simultaneously citing.
I'll tell you this, one thing I will acknowledge, I will acknowledge that as for the EWOP ticket, he did state in his pleadings that he was allowed to come in this house. He was invited in this house, and the house was fully furnished, and he was invited. So I don't know. I do have some question about that. I also have some. That's what trials are for. Yeah, that's what trials are for, and he's made that. He's at least made that case and asked for the crack cocaine ticket. I don't know. Is there any way to determine that it was actually crack cocaine? So those are issues that I have with the case. But as far as what you're filing, I really, the stuff that you've put together, it seems like you've taken a lot of time with it, but you're also kind of contradicting yourself in your own pleadings when you cite the Michigan Court Rule 2.02b that allows me, and it says that I can take judicial notice. And particularly in that document, it says, when discretionary, a court shall take judicial notice without request by a party of one, the common law, constitutions and public statutes enforced in every state, territory, and jurisdiction of the United States, and two, private acts and resolutions of Congress of the United States and of the legislature of Michigan, and ordinance and regulations of governmental subdivisions of agencies of Michigan, and the laws of foreign countries. So at one point you're saying that these don't apply to you because of your sovereignship, but then you cite a court rule that's saying exactly the opposite. That I can take judicial notice because judicial notice gives me power to say that they do have a jurisdiction over you.
Well, there is no subject matter jurisdiction, and also I'm gonna go back a little bit. Going to this home where the guy unlocked the door and said what he stated. Now I went there to actually go.
Now I don't want you to listen. Let me stop you right now. I don't want you to state anything that may implicate you, right? Incriminate you. I don't want you to state anything because now is not the time to defend yourself against those charges. I'm just saying that I see that in your pleading. Wait a minute. Just let me listen. I see that in your pleading, and on its face, then I probably would agree with that. If you go if somebody invites you to a home and it's fully furnished, it doesn't look like it's it looks like they own it and live there. I don't know. On its face, that sounds like a good argument in your behalf. I don't know what the police are going to say. I don't know whether they have the ability to say that this property was not theirs, the person that you claim it was. But for the most part, I thought the argument would be a pretty good argument. But all this other stuff that you filed, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I have no clue.
Well, you need me to elaborate? Exhibit 1.
I mean, well, like I say,
Exhibit 1 is an authenticated birth certificate. Exhibit 1 is an authenticated birth certificate. That's actually expatriation. Exhibit 2.
Hey, what is that? Say that again.
Expatriate.
Expatriate. What? And give me your understanding of what that means.
Well, in other words, I own what you would be going after, which is my estate. I am the beneficiary.
Let's go to that. Let's go to that portion. I read that portion, right? And you filed a document with the county with the Wayne County Register of Deeds, and you, in this document, it says estate conveyance deed, and this goes back to October 14th, I guess, of 2014. It looks like, or 2019, wherever that is, and it says that by first party grantor Reginald Ray Linton estate, a foreign estate whose original address is 814 Jefferson Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee, to second party grantee Reginald Linton L., a indigenous man, secured party whose mailing address is this mailing address I won't say on the record. And then it kind of goes through what you're conveying, and it gave some consideration. Well, first of all, I'm looking at it like this. All right, are you saying that I'm conveying my estate of 814 Jefferson Avenue? Or because when I look at this conveyance of a deed, that means you're conveying some property to somebody. And then if you're looking at it, if I take what I believe you're trying to say, is you're trying to say I convey Reginald Linton estate to Reginald Linton L.
Correct.
But when you say that, then we're just saying, hey, Reginald Linton L can't go in the house without permission and can't have crack cocaine on him.
And I can go around and around and give it to you.
Citing a court rule that says the exact opposite. I mean, pick a lane, buddy. Judge Perkins, meanwhile, is trying to keep a straight face, listening to this guy ramble about corporate entities and corpus delicti. And you can almost...
I'm not going to spend too much more time on it. I'll let you state your but because this hasn't been responded to by the city. And then let me just go through with some other stuff that I said. You got to document United States Department of State to all to whom this present shall come. Greetings. I certify that the documents hereunto annexed is under the seal of the state of Tennessee, and that such seal is entitled to full faith and credit. Okay, I mean, are we talking about your birth certificate? That's full faith and credit. But you're not referencing any of these documents under the seal, so I don't know what you're talking about. Then you provide me. Did you? Go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Then you provide me what I had to go look up, that the world political asylum card and the world government of world citizens card. So I go to their website and I looked it up. And in the last paragraph of the world passport, it says, a passport gains credibility only by its acceptance by authorities other than the issuing agent. So that in of itself, for this passport to be authentic and people support it and recognize it, the other people beside the world passport people have to be able to say, I recognize that as an authority. And I don't know if the government of the United States recognizes this as any authority.
Well, I use it to get into the federal building to take care of certain issues. And as far as the document you were speaking in terms of the Department of License and Regulatory Affairs, there was a diligent search done on my name to show that there's no liability or no corporate entity that has been registered under me. And the other issue is with all what you have before you is because, well, yeah, courts are operating under federal debt collection procedure. And all
I don't
officials,
know.
federal and state.
I don't know where you get that authority and where you say that. You haven't cited that in your brief at all, and I don't know that to be true. I know that the courts are operating.
I know
under the
it.
Constitution.
You say the court is operating under the Constitution.
Yes.
So if you're operating under the Constitution, why is there an admiralty statutory maritime flag behind you?
I didn't get that. What did you say now?
I say, if you're operating under the Constitution, why is there a statutory maritime flag behind you?
A statutory maritime flag.
Yeah, that flag that you have behind you is a flag that actually belongs out at sea. So that's admiralty maritime, and the alleged the laws that you quote and preside over your Michigan citizens with are statutory and codes.
Right.
They're not common.
Almost hear the thought bubble. Why am I wasting my oxygen on this? This guy isn't just joking around, he's dead serious. Full-on straight face, fully committed.
They don't have to be common law. They've been codified. If you read the whole Constitution, the 14th Amendment gives the states the power to codify their laws. All right, so Mr. Linton L., today is only the date and time for arraignment in the matter. So
right. I want to, if you don't mind, I want to
leave here
again.
Leave. I don't want to see you with no clothes on, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Exhibit 5 is a certified document from the Library of Congress where there was an act to provide for a government for the District of Columbia, and which happens to be a municipal corporation, which happens to be where you are, a municipal corporation. Now, the document that you stated about the United States of America, United States is given full faith and credit and so forth, is where a legal search was done by my name. And see, I'm not my name. My name was given to me to distinguish me from you and so forth. So if you go and look at, I think it was Exhibit 5 with my identification on it, states that Memphis, Tennessee Republic. It says nothing about a District of Columbia or private or municipal corporation. I wasn't born in a corporation. So there's the subject matter jurisdiction. And here's the proof that I'm not a ens legis, if you know what that is off the top of your head. You might have to go research that too. That's a creature of the law. See, legally, you guys can do what you do, but how much lawful it is, as you state, that you operate under the Constitution. Well, if you go back and look at my signature on my identification, UCC 1-308, not to be compelled to perform under any unbilled contract that I haven't entered into without knowledge and knowing of all said contract. And I don't have a contract with you guys or the state of Michigan. And
well,
again, you said there's a corpus delicti. Where's the corpus delicti? Because you can't injure a corporation state. You can't injure, and I got your Duns and Bradstreet number.
Yes, you can. Listen. Yes, you can. Listen, let me just say this. I know you're not going to believe what I'm saying because you have formulated your own belief, but you can criminalize a company, a corporation criminally responsible. You can do that.
Okay.
You can hold a corporation criminally responsible, and you can hold the officers of that corporation criminally responsible.
Okay, so here's the thing.
According to him, he can live wherever he wants, do whatever he wants, and the city and states simply have no authority over him. And yes, this is the same guy facing jail time for possession of cocaine and
which is not an officer of the court, issuing out contracts for me to engage with your municipality, and him issuing a contract, he don't have a right to issue no contract to me for me to engage with you. And then, as a matter of fact, that's why I quoted in here in the affidavit. That's why I quoted in the affidavit on page number 4. It states, "Who may serve generally process in civil actions may be served by any legal competent adult who is not a party or an officer of a corporate party." He's an officer of a corporate party. You operate corporately, and where you work is corporate, and he's a private mercenary. I have several Supreme Court cases where it states that police officer has no constitutional duty to even protect anybody. So he has no constitutional duty to protect. He don't have a right to harass either. Now, the other thing about some cocaine, he didn't have a warrant to search me or my truck. He just pulled me over and assumed what he assumed.
Now, listen, now you're talking language that I understand. Now, none of that was in your brief. The only thing that was in your
actually it is there, because it's in there. It's in there. The terminology that I use wouldn't be what you would use, where it states I didn't harm anybody. That in your legalese terms would replace
we got to be speaking the same language in order to talk.
I understand what you're saying. I understand very well what you're saying.
And I gotta speak the language of the written law and how it's written, and the way you write it. I mean, I can't go into your mind.
You say right. Well, you say law, and I see something legal, which is nothing more than statutory or code. And to me, those are actually that's private law.
So why did you cite the Michigan court rule in your brief? Right in your brief. Well, why did you tell me? That was cited. Why did you tell me? Why did you tell me?
That was cited because if you go in the beginning of where it states that I'm appearing specially, not not generally, but specially.
I don't know what that means.
Well, I see you only been there since 2021, and from that point to this point, I don't know how long that is, and I don't know, because
under a year
they don't take
into someone else's house. At one point, he even claims he was invited in because he's a sovereign citizen of the land. I'm not kidding. It's like watching someone argue that gravity is a suggestion. Not a law, but then admit the floor feels kind of solid today. Judge Perkins gives him just enough rope to hang himself legally. He walks through the arraignment, calmly explaining the charges: entering a dwelling without permission, possession of cocaine, and city code violations. He points out the penalties: 90 days in jail or $500 fines for each offense, and enters a not guilty plea on the guy's behalf, just to move the case forward. Meanwhile, our sovereign citizen is waving documents around, talking about how he doesn't contract with the city, how he's not a corporate entity, and how all of his paperwork speaks for itself. He's throwing around birth certificates, deeds, and world passports like magical shields. But here's the kicker: he contradicts himself constantly, even citing legal rules that completely undermine his argument. Judge Perkins patiently points out the contradictions, carefully explaining that the Constitution and city laws absolutely do apply to him. No magic words, no YouTube-inspired legal hacks are going to make possession of cocaine suddenly legal. The courtroom equivalent of a facepalm, really. You almost feel sorry for him. Well, maybe a little. The guy clearly believes what he's saying, but the minute reality hits real charges, real laws, real consequences, his whole argument crumbles like a house of cards in a windstorm. Then comes the fun part. the discussion about his property and estate. He insists that he's transferring his estate to himself and that this somehow exempts him from criminal law. The judge calmly goes through the paperwork, pointing out exactly where the logic falls apart. Every claim he makes is based on misinterpreted laws, sketchy blogs, and conspiracy TikToks. 1 ounce of reality hits, and he short-circuits completely, blinking, mumbling, and forgetting his script mid-performance. Watching it is kind of tragic, but mostly hilarious. Judge Perkins continues, carefully explaining the nuances of jurisdiction, statutory law, and legal authority. He points out that just because someone claims they are not a corporate entity or a citizen under normal law, that doesn't magically erase the state's power. Possession of cocaine, entering someone else's home, those laws apply. Full stop. And the Zoom courtroom setup isn't helping. The guy gets bolder, thinking he can hide behind a webcam. Spoiler alert, it doesn't make your argument any more valid. It just wastes the court's time. Through it all, Judge Perkins stays sharp and calm, letting the sovereign citizen dig his own legal grave while avoiding getting sucked into the nonsense. Even when the defendant throws around world government passports and maritime flags, the judge calmly dismantles each claim with real law. And the funniest part? The guy doesn't even realize he's using the legal system to argue that the legal system doesn't exist. It's like suing someone to prove lawsuits aren't real. Completely absurd in the end. After all the rambling, contradictions, and magical thinking, the case is dismissed. No record of arrest, no follow-up. Just pure chaos turned into a bureaucratic ghost story. Judge Perkins handled it perfectly, calm, patient, and precise, letting the sovereign citizen show his full clown act without derailing the courtroom. Honestly, I'd give him hazard pay at this point, because dealing with this level of legal delusion takes real skill. So, there you have it. Another sovereign citizen meets reality, and reality wins, as it always does. Let me know in the comments, on a scale of 1 to 10, how baffling do you think this guy is? And if you've ever witnessed someone try to argue their way out of criminal charges using YouTube legal advice. I know you feel this on a spiritual level.